Do you ever get nervous or anxious when you're applying for a credit card? Especially when you're trying to get one from Chase. Not only do they have the 5 for 24 rule, but overall, it just seems like a lot of people have had challenges when trying to get approved with them. Well, in this video, I'm going to try to alleviate some of that anxiety that you feel by showing you how I got approved for the Chase Inc. Business Cash Card. I'll walk you through the application and go over some key data points that you don't want to miss, and then I'll give you some tips on what happens when you don't get approved right away. So I'm Ty, and let's talk some square biz. So first things first, let's all touch and agree that building business credit takes more than just having a business credit score of 80 or more points. In fact, for most small business owners, your personal credit score is going to have a major impact on whether or not you can achieve business credit in the hundreds and thousands of dollars.
Okay, you're right.
And this is because most major banks and credit card companies usually require a personal guarantee even though it's for your business. And no matter if it's a hard pull or a soft pull, it's still going to be a personal guarantee. So hit the like button to touch and the subscribe button to agree if you understand how important personal credit is to building your business credit. And you can also join the private Square Biz Facebook group if you want to learn more about PG and no PG credit cards. And the Chase Inc. business cards are definitely personal guarantee cards because Chase will do a hard pull on your personal Experian credit profile. But the good thing with this card and all of Chase's business cards is that this card will not report to your personal credit profile, only to your business credit.
That's what's up.
And because they're going to pull your personal credit, then I strongly suggest that before you even apply for this card, that you at least have a credit score of about a 700 with Experian. Now, I've seen on the interweb where people are getting approved with 680s, but if you want to squash some of that anxiety you feel when you're filling out the application, then I strongly suggest you have a 700 or better. Also, even though a business card isn't technically counted in Chase's 524 rule, which basically states that Chase will not approve you for any of their cards if you've had 5 credit cards within the last 24 months. So if you're sitting at the 5 or more mark, Chase is most likely not going to approve you for their business card, even though it doesn't technically count towards the 5 for 24. So make sure when you apply that you only have 4 or less credit cards that you've been approved for the last 2 years. All right, so let's get into the strategy that I use to get approved for the Chase Inc. Business Cash Card.
Let's do this.
So I kind of played the long game when it came to this card. I wanted to make sure when I applied that there was really no reason that they should deny me. In a previous video, you may remember me showing you guys how I got approved for the Chase Freedom Flex card. And the very first thing I did with that was open a personal checking account with Chase. That allowed me to start a banking relationship with them over the summer. And then to strengthen our relationship, I then got the Freedom Flex card. And by doing all that, it laid the foundation for me to feel comfortable enough to go ahead and apply for the Inc. Cash card. Now listen, many of you probably feel like getting a personal checking account and then going ahead and getting a personal credit card is way too much when the only thing you want to do is build your business credit. Well, it might be for you. But like I said before, personal credit helps you build business credit. And the name of the game is relationships. And when you form a good relationship with many of these banks and companies, then you start to exponentially raise your chances of getting approved when you apply for credit.
I can relate.
Now, you don't have to use this strategy exactly. You can really do whatever you want to do. You may even want to tweak it a little bit by opening a business checking account instead of a personal one. Or you might want to get a different personal credit card instead of the Freedom Flex. No matter what you do, just understand how important an established relationship is with any bank when you're asking for credit, especially when your scores aren't exactly where you need them to be for automatic approvals. All right, and so with that being said, let's go ahead and go over the application. Now, for those of us who are already Chase customers, you can bypass filling in a lot of this information by signing into your account. But for those of you who are not yet customers, I'll go over the entire guest application. To start off, just like any other application, you want to go ahead and put in your personal information like your name, date of birth, social security, address, and email address. After that, you want to put in your gross annual income. Now, this is a key data point, and you want to make sure that you account for all of your income. And Chase is really liberal when it comes to what they consider income. So make sure you get all of it accounted for. The more, the better. But don't lie. Next up is your business information. You'll input your business name and DBA if you have one. You'll also select whether you're a sole proprietor, LLC, corporation, partnership, or nonprofit. Now, yes, if you're a sole proprietor or partnership, you can apply for a business credit card with your personal social security number if you do not have an established EIN. But I highly encourage and highly recommend you get an EIN to start establishing your business credit now. And an EIN literally only takes 10 minutes to apply on the IRS website. And get this, it's free, and it's one of the components of establishing business credit. And if you're unsure where to start, or you want to learn more on what other components there are to establishing business credit, I'll leave a link in the description below to my video where I go over this step by step. So for these purposes, and to ease the anxiety that we spoke about earlier, it's best to use your EIN when applying for this credit card. Now input your business address if it's different from your personal, which it should be. Put in the number of employees and your business telephone number. Type the date you started your business and your business revenue. And just like with your personal income, you want to make sure that you include all of the revenue you can account for. Of course, the more the merrier. Now, I've said this in other videos when it comes to business category or the type of business you own. Banks do not like to lend or extend credit to high-risk businesses. This is not saying you won't get approved, but depending on your business, be prepared to either get denied or have to jump through more hoops to get approved. And these type of businesses can be anything from casinos to dispensaries and even travel agencies. So be mindful of this when you're applying for credit. Lastly, you'll input your monthly spend, which is another key data point that Chase uses to determine your credit limit. You really want this number to make sense with the amount of business revenue and how much you think you'll charge to the card each month. The red flag here, if you're spending more than what you can reasonably afford between your personal income and your business income each month, then it's more than likely you'll get denied. All right, so choose no for the employee cards for now, because you can always go back and add employees after you're approved. Click the terms and condition box and then hit submit. Now, if you took my advice in this video, then many of you will get an automatic approval once you hit submit. And if so, the next screen is going to have your credit limit and interest rate displayed, along with the message from Chase saying you'll receive your card in 3 to 5 business days. And then there'll be others who will get an automatic denial. And if you do, then I suggest you call the reconsideration line and speak to a customer service rep and see if you can get this overturned. But what happens if you don't get approved or denied and you get this screen saying that they need to review your file? Now for this, you may not need to speak to anyone because your automated status can reveal everything you need to know. So where do you get the automated status from, right? Well, when you call into the reconsideration line, you have the option to check the status of your application. Once you give them your verification information, you'll receive one of these 3 messages. Now pay attention to the number of days that each message specifies, because this is where you will get your answers. Now the first message you may get will say something like the last screen you got where it said they need to review your file and they'll get back to you within 30 days. If the message specifically says getting back to you in 30 days, this just means your application hasn't been reviewed yet and it's still in the queue. This is not a denial, so check back again the next day for an update. Now the next automated message that you can receive is that they will notify you within the next 7 to 10 business days. Now if it says 7 to 10 business days, this almost always means that you have been denied. And at this point, you should definitely talk to a customer service rep to have your application reconsidered. And now the last message that you can receive from the automated status check is that you will be notified in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. If your message specifically says in 2 weeks, then this almost always means that you have been approved. And you should be receiving an email within the next couple of days confirming that. Knowing how to interpret your automated status and knowing some of the key data points when filling out the application can save you a lot of time and energy, as well as ease your fears and anxiety when it comes to applying for these Chase cards. So if you're looking for a credit card that doesn't take you on an emotional roller coaster and with a high approval rate, then check out this video. So I'm Ty, that was A Little Square Biz, and I'm out.